Hey guys, welcome to the last day of this miserable year. It's awesome. What are we looking at today? Thanks for asking. Well, Brewmaster's Magical Cask. No light escapes the gravity well. Double barrel aged Imperial Stout 2016 Reserve from Insight Brewing, and this one is 12%. Insight is out of Minneapolis, and knowing how Mr. Holster gets, I gave her a pre-slit. This is one of those ones where they do the wax over the cap. I was kind of hoping that it would just kind of, no, that's good enough. And I'm going to use the Snowflake Melter. You know it, baby. Can't tell you what the bottle cap looks like. We never made it that far. But here goes the pour. Yeah, welcome to midnight. Yeah, I'd be wasting Mr. Holster's time to even get the flashlight out for this one. That's right. Yeah. Get out of my way. Okay. Dark licorice. Big roasted malts, some dark fruits, and the rest will make up as we go. Cheers, guys, and Happy New Year. Tastes a lot like it smells, and if I would have just listened to Stephen Bush, I would have. There was like 3 from this company. One was rum, aged in rum casks. This was the double barrel Russian, and I think the other one was not. Oh, sorry, it's not Russian. Fuck Stephen Bush. Not literally. I mean, that's just like too much to. It has believe it or not, yesterday's from Stone actually has a heavier mouthfeel to it. Actually, right off the bat, everything from yesterday from Stone was better about this one. Up front, it has like a medium mouthfeel, but really, I'm just like counting down until I actually start to get some flavors out of it. I mean, the stuff I just described to you, those are in there. But it's like the good ones, all those flavors come on really strong. And this one's like, you're like 3/4 of the way through going. Kind of like these new LED lights. Me and Johnny Watson put one up. Oh, and Johnny, I had to diss you, man. I was like literally turning the camera on, and Johnny called. I mean, I guess I could have quickly turned the camera on, and then Johnny's probably driving or something. I'll have to call him back when we're. I think I spelled that wrong. Huh. Yeah, well, it's close enough. There was some straggler comments from the Abracadabra. We have the Real Cobra Burnout saying the worm in the bottle was introduced as a visual way to prove the viscosity was correct. It's just never going to die, is it? Ed, laughed my ass off Joey's dick is a choke hazard, question mark. I'll say, especially when you had to say that when I was taking a drink of my beer, Dickfer. Ed, wind chill was -4 here, still dropping tonight, so I can imagine what you're working with. On the way home, I had to put air in one of my tires and thought my fingers are going to fall off. Yeah, I have my 2 rear tires seem to do just fine. My front ones, on the other hand, I have one that in this weather takes about 3 days to go flat, and the other one takes about 5 days to go flat. And Samantha has, aluminum rims, Samantha has had them off the rims and polished, and I don't know. I got some of that green shit that they say is safe for tire gauge sensors and all that shit. All I know is anybody that works on tires says, never squirt anything in the goddamn tire. But Ed, when it's like this, I'm sick and tired of having to fill them up. Most of the time I go to turn my air compressor on and it makes like a quarter of a turn and then just pops a... It has an internal breaker that it actually lets go before the one for the garage. Ed, thanks E, great review. Now, in this cold, if I could become Ed Salmich with those 2 and watch the brew review, life would be good. And that was the last comment on that one. And yeah, I believe we had a wind chill factor of -37 this morning. I'd like to say I stayed at home, but as I already said, I worked for a while today, and yeah, I never shut my truck off. It's amazing how lousy your gas mileage can be living in northern Minnesota this time of the year. Honestly, this is one of the strangest damn things. I mean, smells like it has a shit ton of flavor to it. Has a thick enough mouthfeel. I mean, it would have beat the mouthfeel of 2 of the 3 of those from Stone. But the Floydor, if you are really into Imperials, and I mean, even if you are a pussy, like, if you have reservations of Russian Imperial Stouts like Stephen Bush, I would still give that one a try. This is kind of like a Formula 1 race car that sounds like a Formula 1 race car, but when you get in and step on the gas, it's powered by a Briggs & Stratton 8-horse or something. It's like, has the mouthfeel, it's just lacing the glass, smells really good. And to think that Christine paid $21.99 for that, and for 20, I think this was cash wise, I think they actually had the bent paddle double blacks on sale up there for $23.99. See, but you don't know. You don't know until you try. I mean, light may not escape it, but your taste buds would be like going, kind of like any vagina where Joey's been there. Just kind of going, what just happened? Anything? Sorry, I digress. Speaking of Joey, first on the Floydor Imperial was Joey. First, and I wasn't even on Google with you guys. No, you didn't show up, you prick. Ben N, second. The DFC, third, biatches. Mike Gillian, fourth, here, cheers, cheers. Rich Huff, here, cheers, cheers. Mike again, that beer sounds good at 13%. Nice. It was very good. Real Cove Burnout, placeholder. Salty Shellback, woohoo, 69 again. Normally, when people leave that number, Salty, they're referring to the order in which they're leaving a comment, not what they're doing at that moment in time. Otis 71, drinking rye on rye. Not me. Stephen Bush, suck my bitter Russian ass. Otis 71, did you say boob 308? Sounds gay. No, it's huboob. A huboob is like some kind of a sandstorm. And 308 is a bullet caliber. Otis, finally you drink like me, bottles up. Rich, present and watching. UFC 219 at the same time. Drinky, you want a tinky? Laugh out loud. Obviously late into the drinky part. Aunt Cack 15th. Smile money. I was talking about your wisdom tooth and your dentist. As for the show, all callers should state their name. It is much easier to make fun of them in the chat room when they get long-winded. Well, yeah. Johnny Concho, not first, but cheers, Johnny. Johnny, you suck. Johnny, self-designated asshole of the day. I sent him a little screenshot of my my temperature at that moment in time outside, and he sent me one back and said, we're close. Yeah, unfortunately, Johnny, it must not have done well with math in school, because there was at that moment in time a 95-degree difference between my house and Johnny's. And Keck, dilly. And Keck, hey, what kind of deplorable American patriot are we? We forgot about St. Elves. Whiskey for Santa's elves. And Keck, very nice knives. Oh yeah, they're all dry and ready to go. Here, I'll give you a quick flyby while I'm anticipating the non-whiskey. That one, add a little shiny. I'm not sure. You know what? I almost would have to like test it to see if it it's a satin finish, so it doesn't feel terrible, but in comparison to absolutely nothing being on there, you know, maybe if your hands were like sopped or something like that, or you just got done putting jelly on your member and then you reach for your knife, what worked that combination, I'm not quite sure. But I definitely I definitely didn't want to do something that was. On the other hand, these are just some really awesome knives, and I'm not saying that I'm never ever going to use them, but if I have something like this out for display, it just looks freaking awesome. But it's definitely, I mean, it's not like these grips were ever going to go bad like, say, full wood ones. But I like the way that one turned out, and I like the way the color on the cub turned out even better. Oh, yeah. See how I get me out of the... There. See, the badass little knives. I mean, you want to just sit there with your. I mean, if you're a knife guy and you go over to Tops Knives, you'll just sit there going, you know, your brain's going, you should get that one, and that one, and then your wallet's going to be like, psh, don't even think about it. And like I said, I really like this the sheath for this one versus this one. I mean, does what it's supposed to. It's just not nearly as tactical. And while I was at it, being that it is natural wood, I decided to doll these ones up a little bit. Both of them, both the ones that I made. Where were we? Oh yeah, we're having Mexican whiskey. Could be like Aunt Keck and Gillian and save ourselves the shot glass and not have to worry about putting the cap back on the bottle. Midway Shooter, 21st, and Happy New Year's to all my deplorables out there. Good shit. Gillian, Christine calling. And Keck, yes, Black Rifle Coffee is damn good coffee. Imagine if Black Rifle Coffee Company came out with a coffee bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout. Mm-hmm. Did I say that? Rich, damn, those Tops knives are gorgeous. The Brew Babe is pretty nice too. Rich, yeah, this HP I have now has been a problem from day one. I should have sent it back immediately. I'll never buy any HB product ever again. I couldn't agree more. Rich, yeah, the stupid ass army took all 4 of my wisdom teeth out at the same time. It really sucked, and I think they really enjoyed that. On a nicer note, yesterday's send-off was de-frick-licious? Oh, the end of the video. Okay. Yeah. I did that just for you. I didn't think anybody else would watch it, Rich. That was all you, baby. Rich, wow. I would love it if BRCC did a co-op with some beers. Yeah, huh? Oh, my cup's upstairs. It wasn't the same. I can't remember which of the two of the veteran-owned coffee roasters that we opened first from Spec Op, but the first pot that I had, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna write this one off because Christine made it, and we have a Cuisinart coffee maker and a Cuisinart grinder. So if your coffee maker can make 12 cups of coffee, why would you not set the grinder to correlate with how much water you put in it? I think if she makes like 12 cups of coffee, I think she might put it on 8. I was just like, they figured this shit out. It'd be different if you had a Black & Decker grinder and a Cuisinart coffee maker. Then maybe there might be a variation difference. But when they made this for their coffee maker, at the time that I bought my coffee maker, they actually, the next model up, or the one above, the only one that they had above the one that I got, actually did the grinder all in one. I wish it had a water line that ran to it, but you put water in it, and you put your filter basket in place, and then you just ground the beans, and it would actually put them right into the basket, and it would all start all automatic. But I didn't want to do that because if you have mine is a burr mill grinder. Once again, here we talking about shit other than, I know it's a surprise. Mine's a burr mill grinder, which in essence is like a little tiny supercharger. The bean basically travels through a set of screws that constantly get smaller, so that versus the one that just has a whirlybird blade in it. A coffee snob friend of mine, that would be Steve Schweitzer, Social Security number 47468. Just kidding. He told me that when you buy your coffee grinder, never get the one with the that looks like a grind or a blender inside, because that heats up the beans and it wrecks a good quality grind. So I did what he said, and I got the burr mill. And but if you own like a burr mill, that coffee, because the beans are oily, it's kind of like a mister on a day like today outside. The coffee beans actually would slowly build up around the port that they shoot out of into the little the hopper that collects the grinds, and over time, all of a sudden the grinder doesn't work right, and it's like, oh, you just pop it apart, make sure there's no beans in it, and then just take like a plastic knife or anything, scrape around that port, and you'll break off big chunks of, like built up coffee grinds. And yeah, that's why I didn't want that built into the machine, because I knew what it was doing, because I had the grinder before I had the... Okay, moving on. Thank you. Thanks for playing. But yeah, Rich, I agree. If Black Rifle Coffee Company got together with a brewery, a good brewery, maybe not this one, McLean 5179, Eric, I don't want this silly competition to ruin the special thing you and I have. Let's pretend it never happened. Besides, I have the room you like with the hot tub reserved for you. At a bare minimum, actually, I never heard back from you as far as my doctor's picture goes, but I'd have to say that if you woke up the following morning with either one of them, I don't think either one of us would be gnawing our arm off, to not wake them up. I'm just saying. I think in this case, we both win, and I agree. I'm not going to let this silly competition, and the fact that Joey is not capable of actually picking the hotter of the two of them. Ed, sweet. Hazman, that's why I hung up on you all that night. I was your guest. Yeah, well, see, Paul, knowing how, I wouldn't say the words overstated would describe you. Just the fact that I appreciate that there's a no bullshit factor in there. When Paul's happy, Paul's happy, and when Paul's not happy, when Paul's not happy. All you would have to do is like text me or just say, "Listen, fucker, I'm like the goddamn guest. Could you please hang up on the dickwad that's on the phone?" But no. Now, see, Paul, I did not have this conversation with Paul prior to my rant yesterday. So Paul is just another example of how the call thing is completely out of hand. So again, and I did not have this conversation with John Solar, but we will. Trust me, we will be implementing a restriction on time. I mean, if we have a crew night, that's a little different. But again, all I ask is that people realize that, you know, we are trying to accommodate. Some nights we may get only a handful of calls in 2 hours. Some nights we get a fucking handful of calls every handful of minutes. So it gets a little difficult. So all I'm saying is, instead of being ass hurt because you didn't get to hang out for an hour to an hour and 45 minutes on a 2-hour show, appreciate the fact that other people are trying to get on. You know, make your point, hang out for a little while, and then adios yourself. Otherwise, from this point moving forward, we will. Like I said, later that same blog radio show, another subject comes up that you have some specialty in. And remember, part of the fine art of conversation is saying shit somebody else actually wants to hear. Go ahead, call back in. But please, I'm asking you guys, got to keep these phone calls short, to the point, because when I've asked somebody like Paul Hasman a fucking 6 months prior, I've been working him over to get him to come on the show, and he finally fucking says yes, and then he can't get a word in edgewise. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. And Paul, I formally apologize, and I would love to have you back on the show whenever works for you while you're retired. And I'm being totally serious, Paul. Anytime you want, man, let me know. Brad Thomas, cool deal. The knives made it. Yeah, there was a little. I panicked a little bit when I saw the package. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, it's from Brad. I know what this is. Baby's coming home. I can't wait to see how easy it will be to cut myself. And I saw a little rip in the package, and I'm like, oh man, I remember the time that I got the empty package. Thankfully, my mailman knows who's the gun guy on his route, and he's cool. But it was only like that. The package that you sent them in had like an inner and an outer layer, and yeah, they weren't able to steal them. So yeah, again, Brad had the cub and the I'm not even sure I'm ever pronouncing it right. Made in the USA. Utica Cutlery. The UTK S4 made in the USA. Both these. That's awesome. I personally, this camera is not made in the fucking USA, and that's why come on, get off of the bitch. I know. Wow. Really? Really? Here. Let's cock block you. There you go. Made in the USA. Followed up by Made in the USA. I would sing that song, but personally, I think Bruce Springsteen can go fucking rot in hell. That's just me. I wouldn't spend a fucking cent on listening to his the cock tones come out of his mouth, or put a fucking cent into his wallet. So yeah, Brad had both these, and I would love to. I don't know why, but my pa always said, you can tell the quality of a sharpness of a knife by dragging it across the top of your fingernail, and if it does a curly cue off of it, it's fucking sharp. So yeah. They're sharp, Brad. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a badass knife. I did that myself. This was actually something that was made for me by Justin's wife. And this badass little thing right here. Sorry, Ed, I do not want this to be an hour. And I am not going to drink this whole thing. I mean, I might let it warm up a little bit. I mean, the hell I do with the... What do I do with the one from Sam? We're going to have to go old school on this one. Right now, evidently I've been pressing buttons. Hold on. 51 degrees. 46 degrees. 64. Ooh, that's not good. Her vajayjay is actually cooler than her titty. You guys are 58. So, 52, probably a little on the warm side for something like this, but yeah, we'll see. We still got some comments. We still got comments to go. Brad Thomas, the Tops Knives steel is very hard. Yeah, I said hard. Yeah, I know, Brad. You told me you had quite a bit of a challenge putting an edge on this one, but dude, I think. I think you still beat it. What that means is this thing is going to hold an edge for a long time. Hey, did I mention this is a badass blade? Thank you, BattleBox. Battle Boxy. Gillian, Happy New Year's to everyone. Be armed and safe. Absolutely. The in-house gun, and that Mr. Holster put up a video today shooting this pistol. Not as cool as this one. I mean, even if I took the accessories off, the fact that I'm holding it makes it cooler than his. Not to mention, you know, it's got that awesome barrel from Jay over at Lilly Ammunition. Next time, though, Jay, send me a longer one with threads on the end of it. He's like, fuck you. So this is the in-house. Whoa, 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 and yeah, she's ready to roll. And Rich, wait for it, Rich. Yeah, we got ourselves little. That's right, little but deadly. Little FN57 action on the carry gun, except for while I was working. Then I was carrying the G22, another one of Rich's passions. Wade, Big Ragnar Papa, vaginal rejuvenation. Rejuvenations are done near burn wards. They use the excess lip to make new ears for the bum parts. Can you hear me now? Come again? Stephen Bush, what? People are on the show for too damn long and the guest had no chance to say shit? Never happened to me. Muzzle first. Great brew review, sir. Thank you. Smile Money. I would go to the fair and volunteer to do the ladies' body painting. My specialty is finger painting. So, Smile Money's been working on her for over an hour, and yet I see no paint on her. I wonder where he's putting it. Is it edible paint? Mr. Holster, 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Impressive with a real beer. I will have to tip my hat to you, sir. Thank you, and Happy New Year's, my friend. Joey Cuz, the second to the last comment before hitting the refresh button, Ed, at 34 minutes. I know this comment is not up to date. Oh, it's the Abracadabra one. But since you've ran Christmas Babes for Christmas, how about you do Hot Babes for Valentine's Day, so now you have two full months of boobs. Kind of like the way you're thinking, Joey. J-Dog, here at home. I'm hitting the refresh button. I'm hitting the refresh button. Did that just actually make 4 sounds, or was it 3? Because there is 4 new comments. FJ55 Iron Pig Josh, is Joey's mom black and full of alcohol with a good amount of head to offer? I'm knocking on her door now. You can call me Daddy Pig, Joey. Laugh out loud. Josh, I am suffering from an eye strain. Brew Chicks eye strain. I'm good with it though. Happy New Year, E and Mizzy. Mizzy. Rich, 11 minutes ago, like actually, because we just hit the refresh button. On a side note, did I ever tell you I like the finger paint? The Brew Babe sure had a nice coat on her. I'm sorry, Smile Money beat you to that one. And the last comment, Smile Money, shooting for the last comment. Oh, I see how it is. You got notified that I hit the heart button on your volunteering to do lady body painting. And you calculated. Nice. Nice work. Ah, you deplorable bastards. Oh, I know. It's not that it's by any note. It's not that it's bad tasting or anything like that. It's like it is helping. It is helping as it is warming up. I will say that. I almost wonder if there's a little bit of thank you. I don't know if this is a unfiltered or Infinite Darkness. See, now I read this when I was up after Chris handed this to me. She's like, I'm getting you this. I'm like, never heard of it. And I read the 3 bottles, and they all had the exact same thing on it. So they tell you absolutely nothing about it. They just offer a little thing about the gravity well. Surgeon's General, 12%. It's not boozy. It doesn't even have alcohol warming to it, but yeah, it's just kind of going for $22. They're kind of in the same vein as anything from Guinness. Of course, this has a lot more flavor than anything from Guinness. Like I constantly say, Guinness is the darkest beer I've ever had with no flavor. Guinness has a 200-year anniversary beer out, and being that it was offered in a 6-pack, I was like, well, you know, we're so close to the end, I'm just going to let that go because as we speak, it has actually warmed up to -12. Warmed up. Johnny Concho. I am getting a little bit more flavors out of it. Just like Deep roasted malts. Not a heck of a lot for chocolate. I'm not really getting any coffee. Deep red fruits. Those heavy roasted malts. Maybe a little tinge of vanilla. Some oakiness. No bourbon, whiskey, rye, any of that fun stuff. Well, I'm gonna go finish this. Unfortunately, I am not going to be, probably not going to be up to ring in the new year because I have some place to be tomorrow at 6 a.m. So, happy New Year, everybody. And I don't think I have anything going on tomorrow, so we should see you tomorrow when I get home from work. Well, a lot of you will just be celebrating another year. Well, we make America great again. So, Happy New Year, everybody. Cheers, and we should see you tomorrow.